So when your president, Donald Trump, told everybody that he didn't want to accept the dollar in payment, he would only take gold. That should have sent alarm bells ringing through your mind, like, hey, what's up with that? See, he knows something and always has known something that most of us have not had the privilege of really examining and executing with effectively. Because one, because we're ignorant, and two, we lack the will to actually represent ourselves and take responsibility for ourselves. We want people to read for us. We want people to lead us. We want people to do our jobs for us. Well, when it all boils down to it, you are being punished for that. So in the end, when your president hadn't paid taxes, and I don't know how long has not paid taxes, you haven't, or not paid taxes all your life. You've been paying taxes since you can remember. So in the end, you have to make the judgment call on what's actually being done right before your very eyes and actually engage it. If you just blow it off and say, hey, they do what they want to do, or ain't nothing you can do about it, well, that's exactly what they're counting on. So in the end, the ramifications of that is your condition. And subsequently our condition, because the more people that choose to live that way, that becomes the standard for the entire American population. You see what I'm saying? So for the people who are actually out here standing up to the government, exercising their rights and doing all the legwork, or actually trying to secure rights for those who say they don't care anything for them until they lose them. And this includes, like I say, the white people, even who I really feel sorry for, are the people that work for the government, or whether they are police or the military, or any of those people, because their mind states have been trained to go against who they really are. And they think they're doing this in the name of America, or in the name of helping the nation or their community, or whatever the case may be, when they're actually observing and watching all of their rights being stripped away by them actually going against the American people themselves. And that's what's crazy, because they'll use you against yourself. And many of them know it. All of the things that they pursue in attaining power or rank, or whatever the case may be, those things are only distractions. And that's what politics is full of, distractions. They are very tactful in creating illusions and misrepresentations. They are tactful in hiding the obvious. They are very efficient in their efforts to campaign a perception for you, of you, to you, about you, and that's the American people in context in general, and the reason why I say that is because there's a way that you could bring them to their knees. There's a way that you could actually affect change. There's a way that you could do it, and it's so simple. It's so easy. And I want to thank Miss Prince, for sharing a lot of wisdom with me. She actually proofread my manual and my book for me, and in loving memory of Yeshavian Mullen, in loving memory of Ray Moss, in loving memory of my grandfather Harold Dotson, those people who loved and supported me, and who actually gave me their ear. They actually allowed me to pour my hearts out to them. I'm grateful for those people. It's nothing like having someone who actually understands and relates to you, and will not judge you according to the things that they don't know until they know. Those who really seek an understanding. So I have much love for her because she has really fought a battle throughout her life, and like many other Hebrew women who've done tremendous things. She's written a book and had it published, and she has really done a lot of work in teaching children and reaching them, and actually not just going by curriculum, but actually investing into their minds to read and to understand. And she told me some things about my manual, and she appreciated the knowledge and the wealth of information that was in it. She found it to be valuable, that she told me, and I'm really grateful for that. But one of the things that she made me aware of is that, my problem with it is that people don't want to read. And that's just the truth. And I realized that, and she reinforced it once again, that the main problem with the support of our community is that we don't want to read. So many people are concerned with the things that don't matter. And then you have those that are concerned with the things that do matter, but the way that they're executing their plans is ineffective, because you're playing the game whether you know it or not. And that's why you have to be very cautious in the approach to dealing with this enemy. If you're not understanding the law, then you don't understand anything. Law governs language, law governs mathematics, it governs science, it governs medicine, it governs food, it governs water, it governs. Law is paperwork. Law is the word, the mind of man put on paper and reinforced by other men who agree with and make one mind to go against you, according to our government. That's what law is for them, but it's not what law is supposed to be. Where there are no rights, there is no law. In other words, if you don't have any rights and I don't have any rights, then there could not be any law. Anybody can do whatever they wanted to do. So that's what you have when you have the police coming to you doing whatever they want to do. They're telling you that you don't have any rights. You'll say, hey, I have rights. And they say, yeah, you do. And they'll come and put their hands on you, and they'll harm you, and they'll arrest you if they don't kill you, which that happens a lot. And they will take you and deprive you of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and property, and hold you and it hostage, and your charges will be dismissed. And you can't get anything back. No, you can't hire a lawyer, because the lawyers are working with them. They're not working for you. They're only working on the behalf of the government in order to secure a deal for your life. That's what a lawyer is doing. They cannot challenge the court. They cannot challenge the law. They cannot challenge. I don't care whether it's defense or whatever the case may be. I don't care how strong of a defense they come with. They still are putting you in a position to where you are subject to these people and the madness that they call law. You see what I'm saying? So if you would read your United States Constitution, then you would find that the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land. But these people are not going by the law of the land. They're going by the law of the sea. You don't understand maritime law, and you don't understand the things that take place when you're dealing with the business of law. You're not dealing with the body of law in which you actually think that, hey, this is about right or wrong. No, this is about business. You need to understand, just like you have to pay taxes on your house, you have to pay taxes on your body. These people, once again, look at you totally different than I look at you, than you look at me. They look at you different. They're not looking at you like you're a human being. They look at you like your house is a body, and you have to pay rent to stay in their body. Because you know yourself, when you look in the mirror, what you see is only physical. But the truth is that you dwell in a physical state. And I mean, in a physical body, in a spiritual state. In other words, there's a difference between your mind and your brain. Your brain is physical. I can put my hands on your brain, but I can't touch your mind. See, you need to understand these principles. So when you see they're confiscating your body with you in it, it's just like them seizing your house with you in it. It's just like them saying, hey, we'll take you away, or you owe us your body, because your body is like a house, once again, with you in it. So if you can understand why I say it's sorcery and it's witchcraft, is because these people are not looking at things the way you and I are looking at them. You need to wake up to this, and that's one of the reasons why, you feel the falsehoods around you that you've been taught to live in. You've been taught to live through falsehoods. They'll make one law. There's one law already established that says, hey, you have the right to do this. And then they made another law that say, hey, if you do these things, then you'll get punished for them, even though you have the right to do these things. So here you are in a conflict because the United States government is making it illegal for you to be an American. You see what I'm saying? You need to understand this. And the reason why the principles stand so true is because you need to understand where you get your rights from. Your First Amendment rights come from a man named William Penn, actually going through the recourse of dealing with the English church, who did not like what he was preaching and teaching. He was preaching and teaching against the religious standards, which is one of the things that I was doing. I was preaching and teaching on behalf of my people, teaching them these things while I was in the pulpit, ignorant of the fact that my brothers, some ignorant and some weren't, were selling me to the government. I would preach many sermons and go home and then, get pulled over by the police. And, I had to call my parents to come and talk to me about what's going on, because, these people were assaulting me. These people were trying to kill me, and they've been trying to kill me for years behind what I know. You see, I know that they're a necessary evil. You see, I knew that, that their government is a government of tyrants, criminals, and all that they would call the mafia. The RICO Act would apply to our government. You know what I mean? So, when you deal with all of these things, you find yourself in a position to where you have to get ready to live your life, waking up every day ready to die. I only brought the fight to Front Street. I only brought to bear what had already taken place in the dark, that they were trying to kill me and I was defending myself, when I was carrying and bearing arms, and nobody understood why I was doing what I was doing. And many people didn't agree with what I was doing, but didn't know what I know. They don't understand what I understand. They don't know that police come from slave patrols. They don't understand that the laws were established for vagrants, that they called us vagrants after they released us from slavery, because we didn't have any property, we didn't have any jobs or anything like that. We didn't have any wealth. So if we didn't have any of these things, then the police would come and round us up, put us in jail, and then they would sell us back to the industries to go to work and work for cheaper than they would have to pay us if we were free. So they don't understand the history of law. That's why, I'm offended by most of my brothers and sisters that are Hebrew that work on behalf of the slave catchers and slave industries that take place on their behalf. Because if you did not function in that capacity, then it would actually show what it really is. If you would actually become a police for the Americans instead of police for the United States government, then you would actually see what they would bring to bear against you as well. You see what I mean? But nevertheless, once again, there are so many factors in which you have to deal with their control. And, these people say that they have to get up and they have to go and do their jobs, but you chose a profession that would would put you on one end of the gun and somebody else, no matter who it was, on the other end of the gun. You see what I mean? And that right there, it says a lot, in that you think you're safe. You're doing this to me, but they'll turn around and do it to you. You've seen it over and over again throughout history. You've seen it over and over again, in the movies, and those are only advertisements. They're commercials for you. So once again, they would tell you that, hey, somebody that gets up to be an actor, works hard, or a rapper hey, they deserve the money that they get for you to be their fan. But a lot of people don't know is that actors and rappers struggled and were broke and lived in trailers and on the streets and a lot of places that, you may be going through right now, where you're dispositioned, in life. And those people worked hard and stuck with their passion, their dream, their gift, and their talents. And that's why they became successful. You see what I'm saying? You see what I mean? So, in the end, the spirit of freedom and entrepreneurship comes at a cost, and it comes at the cost of the scrutiny of those who are willing to be slaves for people who are rich and go to a job and continue to make them richer. And I'm not bashing anybody that has a job by any means. I'm not talking against people that have a job. I only want you to understand what you're up against. I want you to understand the minds of the people that you are actually allowing to govern your life, that you are choosing to structure your future. What you need to realize is that your grandparents made way less than you make right now, but they own more property. They controlled more property. Your parents let grandma and granddaddy house go because they were too good for it. Instead of investing in that house and raising another generation in it while buying another house for themselves, they allowed the government to seize control of grandma and granddaddy's house so it would go back into the system while they're purchasing the house that they would be losing while they're on their way out, dying, through the way the government is functioning and operating. So most of my generation is waking up on housing, government assistance, or renting, and our kids are going to wake up homeless. You need to understand those principles. You need to understand that those are the progressions against you. Your inheritance being lost and the inheritance of your children being lost. You need to understand that. And those things are what I'm so passionate about. Those things are so important to me because I'm not living for myself. I'm aware of what has been taken away from us and what they're trying to take away from our children. That's if any generation lives for itself, then the next generations are doomed. They're doomed. So every generation has to live for the next generation. And when I say that, they have to stand up. We are the 34-year-olds of the day. Those that were born in the 80s. We are the adults and the young adults. Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's and Marcus Garvey's. We are the generation that has to wake up, because they're training their children to take their place and to continue to subject us to a tyranny that is only going to get worse. They're trying to turn this into every other nation and strip us of our arms. And you need to know that before an enemy comes in, what they do is pretend friend and then come in with their heat. They come in with their guns. They come in with their bombs. They come in with their threats. They come in with their antagonizations. They come in with all of these slave agendas in order to get a people into a position where they're defenseless and then oppress them. You need to understand that. Enemy does not want to go in and destroy a nation. A wise king wants to take a nation intact. In other words, they don't want to blow up the building and infrastructure and the wealth of the nation. They don't want to kill all of the people because they can use the people to work for them. They want to take the buildings and they want to own and control the property. You need to understand that. And America is being influenced from the outside in. The reason why industries are owned and ran overseas is because overseas, these people have made money that they don't have to pay taxes for, on top of the fact that the United States owes everybody money. They owe everybody. So all of the companies are based overseas because the American people are in debt. And you need to understand that they own property. People from other countries, other countries own property in the United States. You need to understand those things. So, if you could understand the nature of the beast that you're dealing with, if you never went and voted, they would still put somebody in office. You need to understand that. Well, the same thing that make you laugh, make you cry. The people who are in power today won't be in power tomorrow. You need to understand those people, that are police, those people who are soldiers, those people who only take orders and don't question anything. Those people are their slaves. They are robots. They are assassins. They do not question why they're doing what they're doing. In other words, they don't, if they put a hit out on somebody, the assassin does not ask them what they did. They just go and kill them. You see what I'm saying? And the whole time, the person that the assassin is going to kill could be working to free the assassin, or to warn the assassin that they got a hit out on them. So the assassin will kill the very person that is trying to save their life without even knowing it. You need to understand your enemy. You need to realize if you don't know your enemy, you'll cut a friend. You'll kill yourself. You need to understand that. Like I said, so, I'm just kind of wrapping up the concepts on some of the things that was touched on and highlighting, because I'm going to continue to have classes. I'm going to continue to build a community of people that are awake, that really truly desire to affect change. And I'm going to actually start breaking down the government in order that they might understand. See, they set me on this path. It's a path that I did not want to have to take, but I have to, because it came from the Most High. I was born for this. When it comes down to understanding and comprehension, articulation, those are gifts. I don't take credit for that. I have truly a dyslexia. A lot of people wouldn't believe that I have a dyslexia that I deal with. But I don't allow those frailties to hinder me. I don't allow excuses to stop me. I keep going, and by the grace of the Most High God, I keep getting up, So I may stutter, I may stumble, I may pause, but in the end, what I'm trying to process on your behalf is very critical. And that's one of my reasons for putting this manual together, because the Bible says write it down and make it plain. Well, they've already written it down. I'm just putting it together to make it plain. So, if you have any questions or comments, hey, I'm here to try to help. If I cannot help you, I do not want to hurt you. So in the coming lessons, I'm going to be teaching about William Penn. I'm going to be teaching you about your constitutional rights. And that's going to be my platform and my direction in order to get people to actually be able to effect change. So they would actually be able to cover ground that would be necessary, because your lawyers and your judges and your politicians, they're not going to do these things for you. You have to do them for yourself, and we can do them together. So by all means, I love you. I thank you. I appreciate you. If you could actually just, pick up your Constitution, you could buy my book. You can, whenever you get a chance, go to my Facebook page. I've uploaded a number of documents. I've uploaded a number of sections and paragraphs of certain things that, you might be able to use and reference to, and videos as well that might help you understand or better understand things. I don't judge people. I don't